fuck your bitch Monday Night Raw like I'm Brock Lesnar.
For the set, it might be the police that'll kill you in the gym.
What's up, everybody? You know where we're at right now. We're at ringside right now. Of course, I'm with the fellas. I'm with Clint and Curtis. And, we're going to talk about what's been happening lately. And I only got 3 letters for y'all right now. WTF. What just happened Monday night, bro?
We got worked, which doesn't happen often these days. So, I take it. But, we got worked really good. I don't know if this was their plan all along or if they decided they want to get one more match out of him for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have the backstage story on it yet. But, it was a shock.
I think we got swerved here because there have been talks about Brock Lesnar retiring at SummerSlam in his hometown. And the whole WrestleMania thing might have been the swerve to throw a lot of people off. So there's that going on, but I'm for
I think I'm like, was this like him saying, "Look, I'm doing this because I don't want Gunther to be that retirement match. I want Oba to be retirement match." And now you can create a situation where Clash of Italy, he gets one back on Oba, and you have the tiebreaker set up for SummerSlam, which I'm thinking that probably is what's going to end up happening, which in that case, you could almost say you'll have like a second or possibly a third main event based off that match alone.
I mean, it can go a number of ways. Well, I was going to say Gunther could interfere to give Oba the win, and that could lead still to Gunther and Lesnar, but Gunther got the world title match that same night, so maybe not. But, I mean, that door is still open because he's back. So the door is still open for that retirement match. Or, again, like you said, it could be just Oba. It could lead to a rematch, the rubber match, so to speak. So I don't really know where they're going with it. I will say this, a lot of people online have been upset because Lesnar was so emotional at WrestleMania. He had tears in his eyes. He hugged Paul Heyman. So they felt like him coming back kind of ruined that moment. Keep in mind also, Mark Henry did the same thing. Mark Henry's retirement speech was so emotional, so real. They said they had people backstage crying. They had people watching at home who were his friends and family who didn't know there was a work crying till there was a swerve at the end. So it kind of falls in that category when you look at it that way.
Well, that just goes to show you that sometimes professional wrestlers are the world's greatest actors.
True.
Yeah,
but
I'm just wondering how much it did. Go ahead.
From what I can see, I don't see Gunther getting involved. He's already got a whole deal going on with Cody, so you can pretty much throw him out the equation at that point. So
do we think that Gunther is done with the career killer thing and they're moving on to his next angle?
I believe so. I believe so. I mean, you've already gotten 3 good careers killed per se. So, I mean, time for him to move on to perhaps be the next WWE champion.
Yeah, especially since he's got 3 of the biggest in the industry.
And I'm looking at this standpoint. To retire a beast, you need a beast.
Yeah.
Gunther is not a beast. Don't get me wrong. He's great at what he does, but he's not a beast. And if you're going to replace that beast, let it be, because, well, think about it like this. Cody had to go through the trial by fire with Brock to gain that respect, whatever. Yeah. So this could be Oba's trial by fire, more or less. Yeah, you got the one match. That's cool. But now what do you do when I'm back and now you have to really walk through it? Because he took 3 F5s?
Yeah, and that's I'm thinking what they're doing here is they're having Oba work from underneath. We've seen the unstoppable Oba, but the thing is that whole unstoppable babyface thing, I think that only works once in a lifetime, and we saw that with Goldberg. I think for babyface to really sell, to really be successful, he has to be the underdog at some point. And how do you make Oba an underdog? Well, you have him take 5 F5s from Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's about all you can do.
Yes, you got to
So
show a little bit of weakness, show that,
yeah,
maybe this guy can actually lose.
exactly. I think he's going to come into this match as the underdog, but I think he actually may get the victory, and then they're going to start to wind down Lesnar. This may not be Lesnar's retirement match, but we're getting to the end of his career.
And I think it may actually be a longer match than that at
I mean,
WrestleMania.
ultimately,
That wasn't necessarily the longest matches, but I think it'll be slightly
I
longer
mean,
than
do
that.
you want to give Oba a loss this soon?
It would be, I mean, it's not so much the loss, but it's the quality of the loss, if it makes sense. Because again, they're going to do Brock Lesnar things.
so maybe it's something to the effect of it ends up being a disqualification by Brock. Maybe he's so frustrated he can't keep Oba down. They maybe pulls like a chair or something to hit
That
Oba,
that would
and
make
then
sense. Yeah, it
then
would
he
it would
push it to
keep it going.
SummerSlam.
It would
Yeah,
keep it going, and it still puts over Oba over.
because
I've seen that three
I mean, you
times
got
fast.
lucky with Jacob losing to Roman and still looking strong.
Yeah,
Again
and
with Oba and Brock, if your plan is to make this stretch out through the summer.
Well, it goes back to what Curtis said. It depends on how he loses at that point because they made Jacob look strong, but when you look at how he lost to Roman and go, okay, well, Roman did get lucky. And then keep in mind, this man has run through the MFT, he's run through the bloodline. On Monday, it took all three of them to take him down, and they still couldn't keep him down because he still had no strength to get on the mic and challenge him to tribal combat. So they didn't really kill the monster. So I think he's still that beast, and if
And
they're
this is, I put like this. I mean, without venturing off too far, I'm hoping that this was a Triple H thing that he was planting this seed back at Royal Rumble for this scenario that we have going on with Oba. I'm hoping this is it, as
and not a
opposed to
TKO move.
TKO throwing a bunch of money at Brock. Brock like, okay, I'll come back because Brock will come back for a paycheck.
Well, that was also my concern. Was this a Saudi thing? But
Yeah,
we don't know if Night of Champions is even still happening. So this isn't necessarily a Riyadh season type deal.
I saw
Which
reports they said they're still banking on going.
uh,
yeah.
and how long is Riyadh season? Is it like Toyotathon where it just pops up whenever they want, or
I think Riyadh season all year round.
Oh,
To tell the truth,
okay, so it's like Rusev Day where every day is Riyadh season. Gotcha. Okay,
oh my gosh.
got it. But
but
yeah,
I mean,
since you mentioned that they're still banking on going there for Night of Champions, I can see this being actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I could see a DQ or Dusty finish, or maybe even Lesnar going over somehow for this match, so that they can have the rubber match in Saudi and let that be his retirement.
Yeah, I could see Brock just throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at him, and just kind of barely win. So again, it's the trial by fire again because remember, Cody got destroyed in the loss, but he still kept getting back up and getting back up and getting back up.
Well, again, he has to be the underdog. He had to fight from underneath because leading up to his first match with Roman, Cody was on top of the world. He was just winning everything. So he had to kind of
Damn near
get knocked
smooth
down a few
sailing.
pegs to fight back up. And Lesnar was that few. So that's why he got destroyed the first time, and then he came back and got his win.
Yeah, other than the torn
yeah,
pectoral, it was pretty much smooth sailing at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you won a match for a torn pec, so we kind of have to knock you down to make you the underdog, so that people have a reason to cheer for you.
yeah, and I think at this point they were running out of stuff to do with Oba. To tell the truth, I mean the challenge was a challenge, but to the point to where you ran to the back, you drag out uh Angel Garza and somebody else just to destroy him in the
Well,
middle of the ring.
now that we've
I
seen what we've
understand what they're
seen,
supposed to make that
yeah.
look, but
I mean, now that we've seen what we've seen, I think the point was for that surprise moment for Lesnar because they only had it for what, 3 weeks. The first
pretty
match
much.
was Otis, which was a show of his strength. The second match,
It's
match
Otis
you call it.
again.
No, it was
He had 4 matches, really.
yeah. And then Los Garzas, which is kind of showing, how intimidating he is, and now Lesnar. So I think they did what they meant to do with it. It could have been just set up the whole time.
Yeah, it seems like they just got in, got what they wanted out of it, and didn't overstay the welcome. That was the big concern.
Yeah, so we were
Yeah.
wondering, what was the plan? What was the payoff for the open challenge? And now we know.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see that. I mean, I know Monday they spent a lot of time trying to get stuff set up for Saturday night's main event,
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, considering what's been going on. I mean, with the Ethan Page and Penta Intercontinental title match,
Oh,
is
and that
too perfect
interview,
where
that interview he did with
my
Michael Cole, that was hilarious.
That was
he
just incredible. That is just
Yeah,
that
he's
is
getting that
textbook
belt.
heel work.
Yeah, he's getting that belt.
yeah, he's getting it. I
You
mean,
gotta get it. He rewrote the book
after
of
what you saw, it's like Rob now.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just go into the Saturday main event predictions right now.
the Let's.
Okay, cool.
So do we
Okay, so
want to?
that's the first one up. So what
Okay.
we think,
So
fellas?
I'm saying Ethan Page.
Going Ethan.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go with the Canadian on that one.
All
So
right.
I will take Ethan Page and with that one. So the next one is what men's tag with Division taking on the Street Profits, or I mean Street Pipers.
Wow.
Hey, they don't
They
pull
don't
out. They
pull.
just pull up. You know.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, they had nothing else
So
to do, so
true. I mean, so which way y'all see it going?
I want the Street Profits to win, but I don't think they will this time because I think they're going to stretch this angle out and give it to them later.
Yeah,
I
they
think
just came.
I think the Street Profits are going to get a rematch and they're going to get the belts then. So for this match, I'm going to say Division.
Yeah, they just came back, and plus, Joe Hendry's getting on Logan Paul's last nerve. You got to stretch that. You got to stretch that. You can't just. I mean, you got to stretch that to a PLE. So, as much as I like the Street Profits, I'm going Vision to retain.
I mean, you got a lot of working parts. Well, go ahead,
Well,
Pierre.
but hold up. But hold on, fellas. Now think about it. If you're talking about bringing the Joe Hendry angle for it, then why not the Street Profits
Because
win
you
it
got to
now?
look at
Because
this
now they're
also. Okay,
open
look at this.
for
Look at how Raw ended, or what happened with Raw with Seth Rollins jumping in. There's that conflict because Dawkins wants to help, but it kind of got him hurt because of Seth, and the Street Profits and Seth Rollins aren't meshing right now.
Right.
And the whole Joe Hendry thing is separate. You got a lot of moving parts in this feud, so that's why I would say they would stretch it out because it's going to lead to a rematch for the tag titles at some point. Also, once Bronson, which hopefully Bronson will be coming back soon, we're going to have a four-way match. You got Joe Hendry, you got Seth Rollins, and the Profits against Division. That's perfect setup. That could be War Games, if we can stretch out
that's
that
what,
long, but well, no,
yeah,
because the War Games will need 5. But still,
yeah.
I see them stretching this angle out to SummerSlam.
I mean, that's why I could see Seth maybe interfering to help the Profits to kind of make up
There,
for what he
there you
did
go.
to help them win the title. So
I see Seth interfering to help them and cost them the match. So that's why I say
there's that too. Yeah.
I think they're
I'm
going to
gonna go
stretch
ahead and be
that
the
part
odd
out.
one and say the Profit. I'm gonna be the odd one and say the Profits get it.
All right.
Hey, if I miss this one, I'm not even going to be disappointed.
I mean, it's gonna be a good match either way. It's not gonna be a
Yeah, I
disappointing
mean, if
match.
the Profits win, I'd be happy for them, but I'm going to go with Vision.
Yeah,
I'm not going to vote with my heart. I'm going to vote with my Booker mind, and my Booker mind says Vision.
yeah, I can see that. Now we saw the kind of pivot to another match they got coming up. We saw Sol Ruka have a real good match with Io Monday night, and that's pivoting into her and Becky, which is going to be the setup to eventually have an intercontinental match between.
Which we did call that coming up. We said that was going to be the
Yeah.
first feud, and probably who she drops the belts to.
Even though it's not for the title, I still think this is going to be a very good match because it's going to test to see is Soul ready to be in that type of that workhorse position, more or less.
Yeah. Which is why I think Soul's going to win.
There's going to be a lot of soul snatching, so I got Sol Ruka to win this one. Plus, I'm looking forward to the excuses Becky makes. I just loved it. I mean, I've just been a real fan of her heel promos, and it should be a good one to see what kind of excuses she makes.
Well, and that's another thing too. She's going to be making excuses, and that's going to lead to a rematch. But another question: who's going to be the ref for that match?
That's a good question.
I can take a guess. I can take a guess.
Well, it ain't Ref Babe, that's for sure.
Nah, it's definitely not. I mean, I'll go ahead and say Soul get it because now with the excuses Becky's going to lay down, now Soul's going to be like, look, making all these excuses, put the title on the line, and now you're setting up something for potentially SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Or Night of Champions, if they still go to South.
Especially if the ref gets involved, and then the way I see it, with their rematch, Soul can win that. She gets the belt, and Becky starts a full-on feud with the referee, and I think at some point they're going to have a match. We haven't seen a referee in a match in a long time. And, with old school territories, and especially in Memphis, that was something we got, a lot. So,
yeah.
Of course, the refs end up being an actual wrestler, a la Jeff Jarrett.
Well, don't some of the refs have wrestling training anyway?
Yeah, some of them do. And that particular ref looks like she's been ring.
Yeah, I mean, at least, at the very least, they can take bumps.
Right. So I think that, of course, I think the ref is going to lose whenever that comes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But setting up something. Now speaking of the ladies, now we got that 6-women tag versus Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, and Mommy versus Jade, B-Fab, and Meechin. I mean, stuff has been building up lately, but that one's kind of an interesting way to go with this.
I think I know where they're going with it. This is what I'm gonna base my pick on. So normally I would say, well, what reason would Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa have to not win? But keep in mind what's around Rhea's waist and who wants that the most. And plus, they already don't like each other. So I think the story we're going to go with is Rhea and Charlotte can't get along. They are going to lose the match, and it's going to lead into a feud with them and a championship match. Which of that match, I don't know who's going to win, but I'm going to go with Jade and the Baddie just because I think that Charlotte and Rhea are going to cost each other that match.
Jade and the Baddies need some credibility, so they got to take advantage of this one. Not to mention, they've been having a really rough go at it with Fatal Influence, so that's also another moving part. So I'm going Jade and the Baddies on this one, and for gosh sakes, B-Fab, do something interesting.
That might be asking a bit much for her, bro, to tell the truth. I mean, with that, the kind of piggyback off what you mentioned, Clint, I can see that happening, but because Jade and the Baddies get the win, now you're setting up a 3-way. It's not going to be the 3-way that it was with Rhea, Io, and Bianca.
But no.
But that could have a potential where Jade wouldn't have to be responsible for carrying a lot of that match. And she could add in parts to that match to make it more interesting if it was to split off to be a 3-way for that title.
Yeah, because, I mean, she is getting better. Her match with Rhea was actually really good. I think I said it was her best match that I've seen from Jade. So Yeah, I can see it going to a triple threat. But either way, I think. Well, I still think Jays and the Baddies are going to win that match.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like the scenario you laid out was probably going to be the most likely scenario for that. But
Yeah.
I'm also going with Jade and the Baddies for that. And then and I don't know how this is going to set up, but well, I shouldn't say to set up, but I think it's interesting now that how like you got the ladies tag now with Paige and Brie Bella going against the irresistible forces. And I'm trying to figure out how will that go, and would fatal influence or toxic influence kind of play a part in that as well? Because at some point they're going to want to get gold, and I think the tag belts would probably be the easiest way for them to get gold first, and then Jason Zane could go after the women's world title after the fact.
Yeah, as much as I would like the irresistible forces to get the gold back, that's not going to happen. And plus, I believe the ladies of Judgment Day still got a case, even though they lost that match. But I'm gonna go, yeah. As much as it pains me to say it, that Brie Bella and Paige will return.
And see, I was going to say Nia and Lash are going to win because I've been saying since WrestleMania that the whole point of putting the belts on them was so that the Bella Twins can say that they were tag champions. Of course, that didn't happen because of Nikki's injury. So now we got um, half of the Bella Twins, sorry, with Paige. But I don't think they were meant for a long-term tag run anyway. But when you throw Fatal Influence to the mix, you throw the Judgment Day into the mix. I don't know. This could potentially lead to another four-way tag match.
I mean,
So
and can you see that at some point Nikki's gonna want to get involved, and it ends up turning on Paige for this at some point?
you know what? I hadn't thought about that until you said it just now.
Yeah,
Um,
I would be for that. I mean, uh, oh,
I
but
mean that's a possibility also. Um, I really want to say that Paige and Bria are going to drop the belts, but I don't know if that happens, I don't know where we go from here with the Judgment Day.
That
So
makes sense.
that's the thing. Judgment Day, even with Fatal Influence, if Fatal Influence are going to interfere, I can say, well, they're just going to jump in just because they just want to cause chaos and havoc. It's not necessarily about face versus heel. They just want to cause chaos. But with Paige and Bria and with Judgment Day, because they've really built up kind of a feud there, so it wouldn't make sense to put it on Nine Lash when you got this Judgment Day feud building up right now. And we don't know how that story is going to go because we don't know what they're going to do with Roxanne. So, um, putting all that together, I'm actually going to say Paige and Bria are going to retain just because they're building towards a Judgment Day feud and that story is going somewhere. So that I'm basing on that. So I'm going to say Paige and Bria are going to retain.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a hard one because it's so many different ways you can go. I mean, even in my brain, as I'm trying to come up with, you know, which way I want to go, I'm tripping over myself because it's so many feuds and working parts. It's a complex story. For it
sometimes
to
those
be a
are the best
women's
ones.
tag angle, is actually a really complex story.
Yeah, but I actually like this because you have so
I
many
mean, I do too.
teams that the goal could go in so many different directions.
Yeah, and then you don't want a
Yeah.
hot potato way. You just want good feuds and good matches. So
It keeps the women's tag team titles not only relevant, but it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, and they haven't been relevant in a long time. So there's that.
Not this relevant to the point to where it's this active and people are semi invested in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a hard one to call, but I think to you guys' point, it does make sense to go ahead and keep the belts on Bree and Paige for now. But I have a feeling soon they're going to lose those belts.
Yeah.
Just a matter of how and when. So there's gonna be different ways to go, but hey, you guys tell us what are your predictions that's going to happen. Not Night of Champions. I'm thinking too far ahead.
Yeah,
Saturday
we don't
night's
even
main
know what's
event.
going on with Night of Champions. Yeah, Saturday night's main
Is that
event.
even going to happen?
Well, like I said, the reports I've seen said that they still plan on going. Now, who would be willing to go, knowing that you're going to be flying close to a war zone, quote unquote? Hey, that remains to be seen. But they're going to do anything for that Saudi chick. We know that.
Yeah.
But just to, you guys leave your predictions that you think is going to happen. Be sure to also to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell just to let us know, and also to hit up Handful of Tights. If you go to look up T Public on Google and type in Handful of Tights, this shirt right here,
Red
you
Bubble.
get cool merch. Like right now, that's the energy we on. FTKO.
Exactly.
So,
I want to see some of those shirts at some WWE shows on Raw, SmackDown in the crowd.
Exactly. And don't forget, not only just t-shirts, you can get hoodies, you can get stickers, you can get all that kind of stuff from Handful of Tights. Because the best way to win is a handful of tights. After you get your merch, just be sure to come down to ringside right now. Once again, hit that notification bell, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We'll give you a shout out. Hey, for Clinton Curtis, this is Pierre. We'll see you next time. Ringside right now. Deuces.
Bitch, Monday Night Raw like I'm
when
Brock
you banging
Lesnar.
for the set, it might be the police that'll kill you in the jacks.